welcome to week 15 of 16 of our Cork City Marathon training plan. I'm joined by my usual excellent, I'm incredible man, Ken Nason. Ken, I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth there. Like, that's how good you are.
I'm speechless.
That's how good you are. You see, you're,
I thought you
in
was angry.
fairness, what? In fairness to you, you've only missed 1 week, so
Only one, yeah.
only one.
I was
Which
on
would
a roller
mean,
coaster.
I would have to be joined by our regular. Oh wait, no, I'm not. Our new regular guest, Andy Goulding. How are you?
Good. Good. Back by popular demand.
Back by massive popular
Massive
demand.
popular demand.
Massive, like I tell you
You
now.
almost wanted Andy to do the thing by himself.
Yeah, so it's great to have you
We're
back,
just a hired
Andy.
help.
It's the words of wisdom that you gave last week, I think, that have inspired so many people to contact the show, to get rid of Brian and to bring Andy in. So we've done it, people. We have done it. So as people may or may not know, Brian is racing this today, so he has not been able to make it. So we have roped poor old Andy back in again. But lads, we're nearly there. We have only this last one video left after this, and then we are done. It's going to be emotional. So, Andy, how was it after your first week?
It was tough, even just walking through the streets, people stopping you in the car and fans and
beeping the horn, the whole lot.
The mail and stuff like that. But I haven't come to terms with it.
And it even got you for a run.
I did. I ran twice this week.
Yeah,
so it's a good
massive. Oh yeah, I'm still waiting on that text message how we got on. But anyway, so right, 10, we are going to go where everybody wants to know the plan. Shout away for us.
The plan. Week 15. Can't believe we got this far. All right.
Yeah,
so
I know.
As usual, Monday, we're chilling, relaxing, taking it easy, getting some recovery. Tuesday, 35, 40 minutes, nice and easy. Have a chat with your friend, conversational pace.
Yep.
Wednesday, we're going to do a bit of a workout, 15 minutes easy warm up, 15 minutes warm down, 6 by 2 minute efforts with 90-second recovery. So that's 90 seconds after each 2 minutes. Thursday, Friday, chill and relax, get in a recovery room, ice baths, whatever you want to do. Saturday, 35 to 40 minutes easy. And Sunday, big drum roll, only 1 hour this weekend. We're backing it off completely.
Ken, I will go, we briefly touched on this, the Thursday and the Friday would probably be not far off. Maybe the Thursday, your ideal day, if anybody wants to go for, sports massage or something like that, I would presume. And, obviously, I think it's important for people to know that I think once you go into the nearly 7 days, it's a bit too early, a bit too soon to it. Yeah,
we like, guys, if you like, I am already out the door that I will be working next Sunday, but I'm trying to squeeze in as many people as possible. But do not wait till midweek on the last week to get someone to go through your muscles, because that could be too late. Another thing I like to say is that a lot of people right now, if you're carrying an injury or carrying anything and you have to take a day off, take it off, because you don't want to carry things into the marathon.
100%. Yeah, and any last taper tips for people getting into the taper now, because we're really into it now. This is it, like.
Yeah, what I always found is, like, you're not going to get any fitter in the next 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So, like, I think the big thing is recovery. You want to be going in fresh. Like, it's not a time to try and squeeze in another sneaky session or even do a longer run than you're meant to. You will gain more from resting now than actually doing more of an exercise,
Yeah.
That's how I find it.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. And I think it is, again, this is the time where less is actually more with a lot of it. But I think it's still important. If you have been running 4 days, if you've been running 5 days, the important thing is to stay with your routine, just shorten everything. So I know we have a 4-day plan, but some people might have been in 5 days. Some people might be doing 2 or whatever you're doing. But whatever you've been doing for the previous 14, 15 weeks, keep to it. Just reduce the distance back from here on in now, really, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, lads, we had a lovely competition last week for a pair of Brooks runners. which is another lovely prize that, you know, we've been giving away plenty of. And we are going to check who the winner is right now. And congratulations to the winner. Your name will pop up here somewhere, hopefully, if Brian does anything right. So congratulations. Look, again, massive thanks to Brooks for helping us with that prize. It is a very, very nice prize. But this week we have another prize. So week 15 and week 15 of prizes. And this week, I think, Andy, you will agree with me in this one because you do not know what this is yet. But this is going to be invaluable about, I'd say, nearly about 2 weeks after the marathon. A week after might be a bit too soon. So we are giving away a trip to Ken Nason for a sports massage, recovery sports massage, shall we say, about 2 weeks after. Now, if you can go afterwards, it doesn't matter. But this will be invaluable. Andy, would you have liked this now after your 8 miles in Seville?
No.
Oh,
Is this a prize? No, I've obviously been to Ken many times. It's a great prize, to be fair, and you'll definitely need it after the marathon.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hopefully they don't need it and they're in good nick, and it's just a bit of maintenance.
Yeah, but you know what? You know, once over there on the legs just to freshen them up to get back into another training. So
again,
definitely.
Ken, massive thank you for this. You know
No
what I mean?
problem.
We really appreciate it. Because in fairness, as people may or may not know, Ken gives up his time every single week for us here with absolutely no charge, no nothing. He does it for the goodness of the sport, and we really appreciate it. And again, he showed in another prize for us as well. Again, so massive thank you, Ken, and we really do appreciate it. And I think obviously, I think people do appreciate out there as well, for your advice and everything like that. So with 1 week to go, Ken, I will say this because next week I'm going to take the piss out of you solely.
That's okay.
So this
If you
week I'm
didn't,
going to
I'd
be
get worried.
nice. Yeah, so this week, Ken Nason, thank you very much for everything you've done for us over the last 15 weeks. Next week is a different matter, okay?
Brilliant. People are going to be asking me, why is Damon being nice to you?
Yes, I know. They're not used to this. Not used to this. So, lads, we had a very, very long question and answer week last week, right? Brian gave out to us because the episode was way longer than if Brian was here, but that's because Brian doesn't know as much as the three of us. So, you know, that's why it'd be shorter. So I'm going to I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I'm going to throw the questions out here. We're going to give our answers and we will see how we get. All right. So in no particular order, I just got these out from the person. So any advice on calf cramps? I've ran Cork Marathon past 2 years and looking forward to this year's run. I will be a slower runner myself. I'm 6'4" and about 100 kgs, carrying a bit of muscle. Both years I paced myself great up to 15 to 20, which is fine. But both years I found I've gotten strong cramp in my calf soon after and had to walk and run. I stretched and used massage gun, pre-race, worn calf sleeves both years. It's left me wanting more, but not being able to give it the time I want. Ken,
Yeah.
I have an idea what I look, it's a very hard question. Again, a lot of these questions are very loaded because we haven't seen a person, but give your kind of.
I can answer it as a case that, so cramping can be like fatigue and like water related things. But I had a client that basically last couple of days had telling me come in with cramp and things like that in the calf. And basically, above the IT band, hamstring was kind of tight on that side, and I was loading down on the calf. I released the pressure on the calf and the pressure above it, and went for a run a couple of days later, and everything was fine. So it totally depends what it is. Somebody right now experiencing that needs to see somebody.
But no, so Ken, sorry, this is what he's saying is this has happened in the race previously in Cork Marathon.
He could have had a build up going into the race.
Yes, yeah.
That wasn't dealt with. So to answer that properly, he needs to go see physio or someone, rather than if his own like icing or heat are not working, then I would just seek a professional to try to have a look at it now rather than going into the week of the race and it be a problem again.
Yeah. My side I'm going to take it, George,
Yeah,
obviously taking it from
But
that side.
yeah,
The side I'm going to take it from is kind of the opposite
Yeah.
side, which would be more of the kind of hydration and side
Yeah.
to it. So one, I'd ask the question, how have you fueled for your marathon?
Yeah.
The really only time I ever get bad cramps in my calves is when I'm not fueled enough, i.e. not drinking enough water during the day, and you know, you're lying in bed and you're fast asleep, next second you turn and you cramp up. I know straight away I have not got enough water in me.
Yeah.
Sodium, have you had enough electrolytes during the week? And I know there's people out there who say like electrolytes is not. I do think it makes a difference.
Yeah.
If, and he says it himself, he's 6'4", 100 kgs, you know, do you sweat a lot? So if you sweat a lot, are you replacing the salt, which helps reduce the cramping? So again, if you happened to be, sorry, I don't have your name because I screenshot these and I didn't quite get to it. But if you happen to be around the sport, call into myself or either give Ken a shout as well, and we can.
Yeah, you can message me, email me. I'll
Yeah.
answer if he feels it's muscle related, but it could be hydration as well as you
So
said.
there's a couple of different avenues. Andy, have you suffered from it?
Well, I haven't, but my other side of looking at it is from just the running side. Like if it's happened 2 years in a row and he's getting to 15 to 20K, like is he going out too hard? Is he putting his body under too much pressure? That's another angle to look at. Obviously, like the salt is a number one cause, and hydration for cramping, but like is he just exerting too much pressure on his body early on in the marathon and then he's suffering as he goes on?
Very valid point. Yeah, very, very, and again, it comes down to, have you done enough mileage and training to justify what you're doing on race day? Because sometimes we have a time in our head that we think, but has the training actually backed that up? And that's something that, again, we don't know here, but we're happy if you want to give any of us a shout, you know, we will be happy to help that. But very good question, though, in fairness to.
We need to find the reasons for it.
Yeah, so we can, but let us know. But again, call it to me. We need sports hall, you know, usually Tuesday to Saturdays. Give me a shout in there. Ken is available as well, and Andy will be. You can be, you should ignore Andy. He's okay. So next. I'm very mean today. Right, next question. Okay, from a regular listener and commenter. Another great episode. We need more Andy. My question is around pre-race jitters and how to handle them or deal with them. As race days nears closer, I'm finding I'm getting more anxious between aches and pains from every training run to natural fears of not making it to the start line. That's from Samantha Coakley. Andy, I'll let you go first as she wants more Andy. Let's give her more Andy.
Well, I agree. We all need a bit more Andy in our life. But but yeah, my view on that is like I go into every marathon, nerves kick in probably a week beforehand. I get phantom pains. You question your training. Did you do enough? I just think if you have all that, it just shows you care and it means a lot to you. I even go back to the days of, like, for argument's sake, playing GA matches. It's the day you turn up and you don't get nervous. It's the day you don't care. So there's no, like, I don't think there's any real way of not getting them. It just shows it means a lot to you. That's my view of it.
100%. I've never got into a marathon block where in the last 2 weeks I haven't got every single pain I've ever experienced in my life. I've never got where I went out for an easy 4-mile run and all of a sudden potholes seemed to appear right at my foot, and it was just like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm after going over my ankle, or I'm after doing something. It's pure and utter natural to get over it. Okay, I don't think there's any way particularly you're going to get over, you're going to feel it. I just think try to embrace it, try to enjoy it a little bit more, trying to go, do you know what? No, actually, that's great. I'm going to go, no, I'm going to run the best race of my life, or I'm going to go and have a chat with someone, have a vent with someone, go, you know, sometimes you have to ring someone and just go, Jesus, you know what I mean? So, and give out about it. And, you know, I do think that's, and in fairness, Brian would even say himself, like, Brian was able to sometimes vent a little bit on the podcast and stuff like that, and it kind of helped him a little bit for that. So I think that's another way of looking at it as well, Ken.
The nerves are a natural part of racing and things like that. And if you weren't nervous, you wouldn't care enough about it. So you just need to know that's a part of it. And if you have the training done, trust that, and you'll be fine.
Perfect. Well done, lads. next one. Great episode again. My question is post-marathon. What suggestions do you have to get back into running? Should it be the opposite to the taper, slow ramp up? Ken.
Yeah, you take a very easy week coming off the marathon and things like that, very things. And yeah, definitely slow build up again, you know.
And it's a slow build up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't class it as an opposite to a taper. I would class
No,
it
no,
to
it wouldn't be, no.
nothing related to a taper. Like taper effectively usually is about 2 weeks, give or take, two
Yeah.
max. I'd say 2.5 weeks is really what you're looking at. I think when you're getting back after marathon, you take between a week and maybe 10 days of, some people will do nothing, which is totally fine.
Or
And
very
then,
light running.
or very late, and then get back. But you're going to go nowhere near what you were doing anything for a while, a month before you're back to probably regularly, if you were
Regular
doing
workouts.
5 days of work, you're doing regular and you're getting back into the workouts. Andy?
Yeah, like my usual rule of thumb was like straight away 4 weeks before your race again. First week I might do an odd run, but 9 times out of 10 I'd probably do nothing. Depends, like then you'll get the itch obviously that you want to go back running, but I wouldn't be rushing into anything.
Yeah.
Another thing to point out as well is like how you feel after a marathon. It's an anticlimax, so I'll be prepared for that as well.
Yeah, well, it's a very valid point, because it is, you can come off this natural high if after a PB, or the opposite, you can come from a massive downer to a worse downer for a couple of weeks, afterwards. So, but again, these are all times, look, everyone goes through it, so don't be afraid to talk to anybody. That's what all runners are here for. I mean, any runner, chat to us, because we all love talking about running, no matter how dark or how happy and everything it is. So, that's actually, Andy, that's a very good point.
Thanks, Damien.
Next question, that question was from Brian O'Shea as well. Brendan Halsey, how much of a drop in time is ideal for a marathon pacer? I'm not sure about this one actually. What the question is, if your PB is 2:30, what would be the best time to pace for? So if your PB
I think he means if he was offering to be a pacer for a marathon.
Okay, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. So your PB is 3:30. I would say 3:50 to 4 hours. And you've done pacing?
You need to be very comfortable pacing. You need to be able to talk all the way around to encourage people. You even need to be, like, if you need to slow down for someone and catch up with the group. That's my view on pacing. I would probably say 4 hours for a marathon if you're a 3:30 marathon runner.
Yeah, definitely 4 hours.
Yeah.
Very good. No, and that's handy because I knew you have paced before, so it's handy just get that perspective of it. Next question we have is from John Dillon. Done 16, 17 miles and 18.5 miles. And literally that's all I've had in the tank. Been running on my Todd, wondering how much running on the day will help this adrenaline and running with other people. So in other words, I'm wondering, I think the question is, how will he get on? So Ken, I know, we'll jump ahead straight away. I know John has been on to you and you've spoken to him. I know last week we had Marathon Man who asked a rough question as well, which unfortunately I put my hands up. I didn't get back to you and I do apologize. So my answer to you, Marathon Man, is we had a chat with it, and we were saying, look, if you went out at pretty much the 4 hour pace for that and built it up, especially for the first 3 miles, you went 4 hours pacers and kind of started gradually build it up. 4 hour pace is going to go roughly in 9:09. You were going out at, I think it was the last run to 19 miles was 8:41 or something like that. So if you went out, that a little bit slower, you're going to feel massively benefit afterwards. So again, give us a shout as well and we can have a chat with it if you want to. There's no problems there, but that's what 4 hours. And on that side, if you actually want to get onto John Dillon, he'd be a great man to go with. So
there you go.
There you go. So that could work out perfectly. So next question. Great stuff. So here we go. Controversial, lads. Wearing shoes straight out of the box. Have any of you ever gotten lost while running is another question. So, Andy, quick, have you ever got lost while running?
No, but I'll talk about the runner side of things if you want.
We got this question. Ken, have you ever got lost running?
No.
And Damien, have you ever got last running? No. Right. Next one, controversial. Okay, I'm going to go to Ken first because Ken has a view on this. Go.
Okay, so my view on it is, I don't want anyone racing straight the shoes out of the box, right? Because everybody's different. It's going to work for some people, but in general, it doesn't, right? I've had, okay, people, it might work sometimes when you have, it's the same shoe, but I would definitely, if you're doing that, try them on a shorter run, not straight out of the box for a marathon. I will 100% disagree with that strategy. That's not, there's no way you should straight away out of the box for a marathon. It is too risky. So like a lot of people are changing shoes now at the last minute. I've had people come into me now who are fine, perfect for weeks and weeks. They've tried a new pair of shoes on a long run straight out of a box, and it's caused problems.
Okay, I'm going
But
to
again,
cut
that's
across.
not to
I'm
say
going to
it goes
cut. I'm going to
certain.
cut across you now straight away, right? Because I myself and Andy discussed this today briefly. All right. So we did mention last week that we wear racing shoes straight out of the box, no problems, and I'd run in them, no issues.
Yeah.
All right. Number one, we did not for 1 second ever at one point say buy a totally different shoe and wear that straight out of the box.
No,
I
you
think it
didn't.
was
You didn't.
totally opposite. I would say we've said about that. We were saying if it's the same shoe that we have worn, which we've done, myself and Andy have done miles and miles and miles and miles when we were training for marathons, and I'm so used to a shoe, I could literally put it on and run within a second of it being brand new, no issues. But I would not for 1 second go into a brand new shoe and wear that out on a race day or even for a 20-mile run. I would have to go out and do something smaller for it. Andy.
Yeah, like I've run a lot of marathons. I probably owned about 10 pairs of Vaporfly shoes in those periods. It's like I didn't straight off the bat just wear a brand new pair on race day. I've built up to, I'm so used to the runner, as you said, that like it's like they're all made in the same factory, the same style, but I'm just so used to that runner, I don't need to test it. Well, like if I was to change a runner,
Would you wear it
100%.
straight in 26 miles without
Oh yeah,
testing?
100%.
Yeah.
If it's the same shoe, yeah, I would. Yeah, I've done it before.
I've done it in my last 4 or 5 marathons, I'd say.
Yeah, I want the
But
freshest
that's
pair
because
of
it's the
shoes for
exact
race day.
same runner that I've done all my long runs and training in. They're just fresher.
Yeah, and that's what I want as well. When I was doing it, I would literally wear them just for that. But
if I was to change a runner, not a hope in hell would I
not a
try him
chance.
on race.
But there's issues where the same shoe sometimes they're changing the stack height and certain on it, and people are unaware of that sometimes.
Yeah, but look, okay, that's a good point. But I could tell the minute I put a shoe on, and I will put a shoe on, I will be able to tell you if there's a slight difference in it.
Yeah.
And there has been shoes. There's been shoes I sent back after one wear because I'm like, no, this is not the right one. And Andy, ever so slightly, you are incorrect with one of your statements. They're not all made from the same factory. They're made in 2 factories, and there can be a slight difference there can be a slight difference where the factory it is made. And that's being honest with you. And I will be very careful when I do get the shoes. I will check to make sure what factory it has been made on, and that is the same as the factory of the shoe that I have. So that I've seen that. I've bought shoes out to customers, which is the exact same but different color. It ends up being in a different factory that it's been made, and the sizing is different. So that can be a difference. So myself and Andy stated that last week because we've done enough 20, 24, 25 miles in our lives that we can go, I know this shoe, and then going, somebody who's not experienced, no, you should never do it. And I would say that we should have probably said that last week. I don't know if exactly what we said. So,
like I have a new pair of runners there. I have a new pair of Alphafly 3s. Have obviously not worn them because I was injured. I hope to wear them for my next big race, but like which is usually a marathon. But I'll wear them for at least probably 3 or 4 long runs just to make sure they're right.
Because
for me,
it's a
like,
runner.
Because it's a different style runner.
Yeah, but what we should say 100% is don't change to a carbon shoe now for the race day when you've never touched
Christ, no.
Oh, way too late.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Just
100%.
to say that so nobody is thinking of even doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's too late now, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Move on. To your topic here, Andy, ever so slight with the Alphafly. Alphafly or Vaporfly over marathon distance. I find the Alpha is very chunky, so thinking of switching to Vapor. Okay, that's right. I train in Zoom Fly and love them, so asking for advice on the Vapor is good. Okay, my question is straight off. Have you run into Vaporflies before the marathon? If your answer is no, the answer is it doesn't matter, don't wear them. Okay, and that's straight off. That is my answer for that. I prefer the Alpha Fly for the marathon. I think they're a better marathon shoe than the Vaporfly. But if you have not worn the Alpha Fly that you're going to beforehand right now, forget about it. Do not do it.
Yeah.
And that's from Gary. Ranlin is, I think, is the second name.
The other thing I would put to him is that he trains in the Zoom flies and he loves them. So why not racing them? Like, you don't have to wear a super shoe. Like, if he's not, by the sounds of it, he's not training in a super shoe.
Yeah.
So it's too late now to try them.
Yeah,
basically.
definitely.
But
Yeah.
see, I don't know, and the reason I ask this is I find the Alphas very clunky. So thinking of switching to
Yeah,
the
so maybe
Vapors.
he is training. Yeah.
So he's probably training in the Alphas. But if you're not comfortable in the Alphas, then wear the Zoom flies. And then after the marathon, go to Alpha flies, but Vapor flies afterwards. But for now, if you haven't worn them before, no, forget about it. Okay, we move on. Good listen. Would you recommend taking electrolytes tablets during the race? During the race is not the most important in the history of the world. The build up to the race, 100%. You did get answered the question. The person, Graham Cummins, asked the question, and Mark H answered back, yes, every 5k with the heat outside. You're okay. I'm not going to say you are. Yeah, you can do it, but every 5k you're looking at carbs more than electrolytes, because electrolytes are not giving you fuel. They're replacing with salt, and you can get that with salt sticks. So you could use your carb drink every 5k if you wanted to, or gels every once in a while. But you could build up your electrolytes beforehand and take electrolytes once in the race if you want to, but salt tablets are absolutely perfect as well. Lads, anything to add to that?
No, I think that's fairly
That's all
clear.
good.
Okay, next one. I've been dealing with I've been following the podcast since week 4, dealing with an injury and illness. I'm 10th in the Cork half. I've changed my goal to complete rather than complete. Oh, sorry, this is just saying thanks, lads. So there you go. Thank you.
Okay.
So do you think a runner's body weight is a major factor in the marathon finishing time progress? If the runner is lean but still close to 80 kg, do you need to lose weight? No.
No.
I don't. I
I
don't want
to
to
be
be
honest
open
with you,
that.
I'm not opening that kind of worms
Yeah.
because
No.
first of all, anyway, when during a marathon training block, you're going to lose weight anyway, no matter and
Naturally,
you
yeah.
notice you're going to naturally lose. There's no way you can get the amount of carbs into afterwards and food into you to replace what you've lost in after a 24-mile run. So my rate at the moment right now, because I'm not, is 79 kgs. When I was running marathons was 69. So
Yeah.
I naturally, and I went down from 80 kg down to 69 when I started running marathons. But I'm not, rate means nothing. It's the training that's the most important part. And for me, if you're training hard enough, you're going to lose that bit of weight naturally. I will never in my life encourage anybody to try to lose weight outside running natural weight loss.
I think your body will find its own weight anyway. As you said, like your training, what you end up, what your weight is what your body is trained to run at.
Yeah.
So I certainly wouldn't be like trying to diet on a marathon is not a good idea.
No, and by the way, lads, I got to 69 kgs and there was no way I could get less than that. Do you know what I mean? So like again, and that was me. There was no diet. I would eat ice cream every night. I would eat pizza every night. I would eat, and I still naturally left it. And it looked majestic. But anyway,
that's a compliment, Andy. Don't give him that.
I said horrific, not terrific.
Sorry, I misheard.
Right. Less of it now, lads. I'm the leader here. I'm mute you all. Right. I have a pain in my foot on both my heels and the bottom of my foot. It's restricting my training. Any ideas of what it could be? 1,005,052 things that could be. One, and I go from my side, which is the kind of the running trainings, shoes and all that. One, are you in the right shoe? Is your shoe worn? Is it fecked? Do you know what I mean? Is your cushioning gone at the end of the shoe so you're not getting the protection? 1, 2, is it just an injury, Ken, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Plantar, 1,000 things. Like ice the foot initially to see if it will help, but again, could be the wrong shoes and things like that.
Yeah. So look, again, check it out. Give us a shout if you want any questions. It's too loaded. Again, I know it is too loaded of a question to give you an answer right now.
But someone can contact me, phone me, and I'll help them.
Yeah, and also again give me a shout and I'll be happy to help as well. There's no problems there. Next one. Thanks, lads. Looking forward to my long run this weekend. More chat, Taper on what's next on the next episode. So I think we had a chat with Taper already, Sinead. So look, if you've Taper's the fun part, lads. It's enjoy it, and the race then is the extra fun part, and then afterwards is the even more fun part. And hope the JCB gets fixed soon. Still not fixed, so sorry about that, lads. But it's in the garage. It's okay. Any thoughts on wearing headphones in the day, lads? Andy?
I would say no, straight off the bat, no.
So I've done 2 marathons with headphones, and I've done a few without headphones. The 2 I've done it was my first 2. Sorry, actually done one with headphones, which was my first one actually. And I would never do it with headphones, because I remember in Barcelona my first marathon actually taking the headphones off because I wanted to enjoy the crowd, I wanted to listen to the crowd, I wanted to soak up the atmosphere and the whole lot of it. So for me, no, you don't need it. You get plenty of atmosphere around the place, people are shouting, and you might miss somebody shouting at you if you have headphones on. Ken?
Yeah, no, like enjoy the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Leave the headphones at home.
Okay, what would your advice be on caffeine gels, regular gels in the marathon? Out of 5 to 6 gels, how many regular, how many caffeine? So that's from Adele. Adele, I'd love to know what time you're going for, as in for the 5 to 6 gels. And I say that because 5 to 6 gels would be, grand, but you might, depending on your time, you might look at your gel. So for me, you're looking at taking a caffeine gel at roughly around mile 13 and roughly mile 20. You should be getting a gel into you every half an hour that you're running, and then plan that around your distance of where you're getting it. So roughly around halfway caffeine. And I've changed my mind on this in the last while, because I used to be 2 caffeine after mile 20, but which was obvious to me when I was told, if you take your second gel, we say mile 20 and then mile 24 or 20, sure, by the time the caffeine is in, you're in the pub and it's kicking in then all of a sudden, so it's too late. So take one in a halfway, take one at mile 20, and then work around that. So for me, and again, this is training, is 2 caffeine gels is perfect to whatever the regulars. Andy?
This could cause controversy again, but I usually take all caffeine.
But you train with that, and again, that
that's what I've done for all my marathons. Yeah.
So you train with that.
I drink coffee as well. See, that's another thing people have to take into consideration.
Is there any dehydration effect from taking too much caffeine? Then?
Not if you're used to it, and I will say that much. That you do have to train your body to take a bit of it, because yes, there is actually dehydration if you take too much of it.
Yeah.
But if you train your body to do it over time,
then it's fine.
Then it's no problems. Now, would I recommend it to everybody? No, I recommend people to build it up over time. And I think as well, if you take too much caffeine, it nullifies the benefits of caffeine. So by taking the caffeine after regulars, you're getting that natural kick of it. If you're taking caffeine all the time, you're never getting that natural kick.
Like what I would say is, what the gels I was normally using, I used all caffeine, but I changed, like for argument's sake, Seville, I had a gel strategy. I just didn't get far enough to take them.
Yeah.
But it was
8 miles is fair enough, not to be fair to.
But I was planning on alternating. I had a different plan, like a different gel strategy.
Okay.
Like I'm not recommending take all caffeine.
Yeah, and that's what and I know you're not. I'm just saying that's your strategy for it. Yeah, and I know that. And in fairness to you, I know you wouldn't recommend something obviously that we've never, unless you do it yourself. That's just for you. You know what I mean? So, right, okay. So we'll fly through nearly there. That's just wondering, is there a decent course description available on the full marathon route? There was a very good and detailed mile description I had last year. And we'll have a look at that. But actually, we're waiting on AIM to get back to us. If we have it, we'll put into the link down below for this episode. So if we do have it, we will send that. But I think there is a video as well on YouTube if we put in Cork Marathon. But the route also, that part might fractionally change. So we will have once that's confirmed, which I think is by the end of this weekend, we will have a kind of more detailed of the updates on that as well for that one. So that is that one. And great show, lads. Always my plan is to do Cork and then Dublin in October. Interesting to hear your thoughts on what my running for 1 or 2 months after Cork should look like to get the balance right, but not lose too much of fitness. Cork will be my 3rd marathon, but this is the first time I'm doing 2 marathons in a year. Ken?
Yeah, I think just for a week or 2 after Cork, just taking the easy recovery and kind of build back in slowly. I think, well, what's the turnaround? About 16 weeks, is there?
So you're June, July, August, September. You're about
Probably
5
longer, I'd say,
months.
yeah.
Yes, you're longer. You're 5
Longer,
months.
so then you have time to build back in slowly.
Yeah, I think take your recovery, take a month,
Yeah.
very easy, then gradually build up into your 16
Yeah.
weeks. You've plenty of time,
Yeah.
plenty of time for it to be absolutely no fair of you. Andy, have you done?
I've done that a few times actually, Cork and Dublin. I wouldn't try and hold on to my marathon fitness through the whole period. What I usually done was I would do shorter races over the summer, just to kind of sharpen up, and then go back into another marathon block.
Yeah,
like it's not really. I don't think it's good to keep marathon fit all year round.
Yeah,
You need to let your body recover a bit.
Right, lads, that's all. And any of you have any questions?
Oh yeah, I have one question for you.
All
Came
right.
in here. It's from Jonathan Keneally.
All right, go on. Oh, who's he
I
now?
like this guy.
He said, firstly, his first question straight out is, when is the rematch going to happen? When is he going to get a chance to race you again, right? And he says, you have plenty of time. I'm reading quote unquote here now. You have plenty of time for YouTube and everything else, but no time to lose to your brother. He's choosing his battles wisely.
Okay. First of all, Jonathan, if you ran a 5K, which you did only recently, I won't mention any race, and you ran that in a time, if you can run it faster than my last 5K, which is 18:12, then we can have a battle, because then I know you're a worthy battle. Then, so outside that, 18:55 is not going to do it for me. Okay, that's not. I'm sorry, it's not. So until you can run at least 18:30, which I'll have to coach you to, obviously, when so I might have to change that ever so slightly. But yeah, so Jonathan, you name the place and I'll be there if he wants it. Okay, I have no issues.
He's listening, don't
I have
worry.
no problems. Andy?
I would like to help Jonathan as much as I could to beat you.
Okay, no problems. All right, so right, I'm going to finish.
Jonathan, I'll contact you after the show.
I'm going to finish it on this, lads. All right, this is from Austin to me, which I must say, when I saw it, I actually was very happy and very proud. And it reads, "This is a brilliant podcast, and can only see this growing. Been listening to a loads of drivel elsewhere. Proper good advice." So, Austin, thank you very much. That is what we try to do, try to give our honest opinions. We're not going to try to sell you a shite if we don't think it's worth it. We are going to try to give the best advice that we possibly can to everybody, and people can take snippets out of what they can get. We all have our own experiences. We all enjoy doing what we do. Ken comes from the coaching side and the sports massage side and from the running side. And Andy then comes from finishing second in the over 35 category in the Cork Marathon.
I thought that was a compliment.
So then we all have our experiences.
Those two compliments.
And Andy, who beat you that time in the over 35 category? But anyway, so
a retired runner.
But no, look, we do appreciate it. And look, again, thank you to everybody who sends in messages. We honestly do really appreciate it, and we do this out of pure and utter love for this running malarkey and fun. So, again, make sure if you're doing Cork Marathon, any part, it's a 10K, half marathon or marathon, when you're finished, you head to the Deep South. You go in there, you come up to myself, you come up to Brian, you come up to Andy, you come up to Ken, you come up to anybody, and you just let us know, if we have never met you before, that you've been watching the show, because we would really love to meet you, and say, hope you enjoyed it, and give us proper feedback once it's nice, because you know we don't want to be awkward.
The complaints department will be off that day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
And you're the complaints department.
Lovely, yeah.
he's had to get promoted to that HR. But look, lads, again, Andy, thank you very, very much for filling in. Really appreciate it. Ken, yet again, thank you very, very much for
Okay.
everything. And we do appreciate it. Competition again. Comment and subscribe down below to win a massage with Ken Nason. And it is definitely going to be well worth it. But lads, 1 week left. We'll
Yeah.
see you next week.
See you next week.
Take care.